Success is not a game for the faint-hearted. It demands fierce commitment and ruthless self-honesty. To win, you must first identify your enemies. These are not outside forces, but internal behaviors, 10 destructive habits that will sabotage your destiny if left unchecked. Listen closely, because your future depends on eliminating these enemies now. First, indecision is poison. The moment you hesitate, doubt creeps in. Successful men and women act with clarity and confidence. No second guessing. If you cannot decide, you guarantee failure. Second, fear is your greatest enemy. Fear paralyzes the mind, destroys creativity, and chains ambition. If you feed fear, you starve success. Conquer fear or be conquered by it. Third, procrastination steals your time and your power. Every delay is a missed opportunity. Action fuels momentum. Delay kills dreams. Winners move fast and never wait for perfect conditions. Fourth, negative associations will drag you down. Surrounding yourself with naysayers and skeptics drains your energy and clouds your vision. Choose your company wisely. Your environment shapes your outcome. Fifth, lack of persistence is surrender in disguise. When you fall, stand up again and again. Quitters never win, winners never quit. Persistence carves paths where none existed. Sixth, blaming others destroys your control. If you refuse to own your mistakes and results, you give away your power. Responsibility is the cornerstone of growth. Claim it fiercely. Seventh, comfort zones are prisons. Avoiding challenge and risk is the enemy of progress. Growth demands discomfort. If you want more, be willing to endure the pain that comes with it. Eighth, lack of clear purpose is chaos. Without a burning purpose, your efforts scatter and weaken. Success requires a definite major aim, a goal that consumes your every thought and action. Ninth, wasting time on trivial matters drains your energy. Focus is your weapon. Guard your time like a lion guards its territory. Say no to distractions that do not serve your ultimate goal. 10th, giving up at the first sign of difficulty is the graveyard of dreams. True success requires you to push through storms, setbacks, and failures. Strength grows in struggle. Understand this. These behaviors are not mere obstacles. They are your enemies. They will conspire daily to rob you of your vision and steal your future. You must recognize them, reject them, and replace them with discipline, courage, and relentless action. Success is not for those who wish, but for those who fight. Rid yourself of these enemies now. Be ruthless with your habits. Transform yourself into a powerhouse of determination. Your future is forged in the choices you make today. Eliminate these behaviors and nothing can stop you. The road to greatness is narrow, but the rewards are limitless. Stand firm, act boldly, and claim the success waiting for you. Success demands unwavering discipline. It is the foundation upon which every achievement, every breakthrough, every triumph is built. Without discipline, talent is wasted, opportunity is lost, and dreams remain just that, dreams. Discipline is not a suggestion or a convenience. It is the uncompromising force that separates those who rise to greatness from those who fall into mediocrity. The path to success is littered with distractions, temptations, and excuses, but discipline is the shield that protects your focus, the engine that drives your action, and the compass that guides your decisions. Discipline begins with control over your own mind. Your thoughts are the seeds from which your destiny grows. If you allow doubt, fear, and negativity to take root, they will choke your potential. To be disciplined means to master your thoughts, to reject anything that weakens your confidence and resolve. It means choosing to think clearly and positively, even when circumstances tempt you to give up or settle for less. You must train your mind to focus relentlessly on your goal, shutting out distractions and naysayers. This mental discipline is the beginning of all power. Every successful person understands that discipline is action in motion. It's not enough to want success or to dream about it. You must commit to consistent, deliberate action day after day. Discipline forces you to show up when others quit, to push through fatigue and frustration, to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow or invisible. This persistence, born of discipline, wears down obstacles and builds momentum. Without it, talent and intelligence are meaningless. Success rewards those who work hardest, who refuse to be stopped by setbacks or delays. Discipline demands sacrifice. It requires you to give up short-term pleasures for long-term gain. This is where many fail. The comfort of immediate gratification seduces millions into a life of unrealized potential. But discipline teaches you to delay gratification, to endure discomfort now so you can enjoy lasting rewards later. Whether it's waking up early to work on your goals, sticking to a rigorous plan, or saying no to distractions and temptations, discipline means making hard choices consistently. It means valuing your future more than fleeting comfort. To develop unwavering discipline, you must build powerful habits. Your daily routine becomes your destiny. Each small act of discipline strengthens your willpower and edges you closer to your goal. It's in the habits you cultivate, waking up with purpose, focusing on priorities, finishing what you start, that discipline flourishes. The mind craves routine, and when you feed it with discipline, it becomes a machine of efficiency and resilience. This relentless structure guards you against the chaos of life that tries to pull you off course. Discipline is also about responsibility. It means owning your decisions, your failures, and your success. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck when things go wrong, but discipline requires you to stand tall and accept full responsibility for your life. This is where true power lies. When you stop playing the victim and take charge of your results, you unlock the ability to change and grow. Discipline does not allow excuses or complaints. It demands accountability. Success follows those who command their own destiny. Fear and doubt are enemies of discipline. They whisper lies that paralyze your progress and undermine your courage. But discipline is the antidote to fear. When you develop discipline, you face fear head-on and refuse to let it dictate your actions. You act despite uncertainty and discomfort because your commitment is stronger than your hesitation. This courage, fueled by discipline, transforms obstacles into opportunities. You learn to see challenges as tests of your strength and resolve rather than reasons to quit. Indecision is another enemy defeated only by discipline. The moment you hesitate, you lose valuable time and allow doubt to creep in. Discipline sharpens your ability to decide quickly and firmly. It teaches you to trust yourself and take action even when the path isn't perfectly clear. Every great success story includes moments of bold decisions made with conviction. Discipline trains you to make those decisions swiftly and to commit fully, knowing that indecision is the enemy of progress. Discipline is the guardian of your focus. In a world filled with endless distractions, it keeps your eyes fixed on your target. Social media, entertainment, gossip, and countless other diversions compete for your attention. Without discipline, you will be pulled in every direction and never accomplish what matters most. But with discipline, you create boundaries around your time and energy, protecting your priorities with fierce loyalty. Your mind becomes a laser beam, cutting through noise and clutter to hit the bullseye of your ambitions. Even when success seems distant or impossible, discipline keeps you moving forward. It's the inner voice that says, keep going when the world says, give up. It's the force that drives you to learn from failure, to get up after every fall, and to keep chasing your vision no matter the odds. Discipline turns ordinary people into champions by transforming struggle into growth. It's the relentless engine that powers every great achievement in history. Discipline requires you to embrace discomfort. Growth is never comfortable. To become more, to achieve more, you must be willing to endure pain, rejection, and setbacks. Discipline is the muscle that strengthens you to handle this discomfort without breaking. It teaches you to welcome challenges as opportunities to build resilience and character. Without this willingness to face hardship, success will forever remain out of reach. Ultimately, discipline is the great equalizer. Talent, wealth, and luck can give some an advantage, but discipline can overcome all obstacles. It levels the playing field between the gifted and the ordinary, the wealthy and the struggling. Those who cultivate discipline are the ones who take control of their fate and become unstoppable forces of achievement. Success bows to discipline, and discipline demands your total commitment. There is no room for compromise with discipline. It requires relentless focus, unwavering resolve, and a refusal to tolerate anything that undermines your progress. It is not a one-time effort, but a daily choice, a constant battle against laziness, distraction, and fear. The moment you relax your discipline is the moment your enemies gain ground. To reach the highest peak of success, You must be disciplined in every thought, every action, every moment. Success demands unwavering discipline. It is the fire that burns in the hearts of champions, the steel that hardens their will, and the force that propels them beyond limits. Without it, no dream becomes real. With it, all things become possible. The question is not if you want success, but are you willing to embrace the discipline it demands? Because your future will be shaped by that choice. Make discipline your unbreakable ally, and nothing will stop you. Fear is the root of failure. It is the silent destroyer that creeps into the mind, paralyzes action, and suffocates potential. Fear does not just block your path. It poisons your thoughts, clouds your judgment, and convinces you that you are not worthy or capable. Every failed attempt, every missed opportunity, every dream left unfulfilled can be traced back to this one enemy, fear. To succeed, you must understand fear's power, confront it without hesitation, and refuse to allow it to control your life. Fear is a natural reaction, but it becomes dangerous when it dominates your decisions. It disguises itself as caution or realism, whispering doubts and worst-case scenarios. It tells you to stay safe, to settle for less, to avoid risk. But the truth is, fear is a liar. It wants to keep you trapped in your comfort zone, where growth is impossible and dreams wither away. The moment you allow fear to dictate your actions, you surrender your power. You become a prisoner to your own mind, chained by what-ifs and imagined failures. Fear stops action before it even begins. It causes hesitation that drains your momentum and lets opportunity slip through your fingers. The most successful people don't live without fear. They feel it deeply, but they refuse to let it control them. They learn to act despite fear, recognizing that courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. Every step taken in the face of fear strengthens your resolve and diminishes its hold on you. Fear loses power when you confront it head-on and keep moving forward. One of fear's greatest weapons is the fear of failure. This fear convinces you that making mistakes will define you, that failure is permanent, and that success is only for the lucky or the talented. But failure is not the enemy. Fear of failure is. Failure is a lesson, a stepping stone, a test of your commitment. It is inevitable on the path to success. The real failure is never trying, never risking, and never rising after falling. When you fear failure, you shrink your vision and limit your possibilities. To grow, you must embrace failure as an essential part of the journey. Fear breeds self-doubt, which undermines your confidence and your belief in your abilities. When you doubt yourself, your goals seem unattainable, your efforts feel futile, and your courage fades. Self-doubt is the voice that tells you, you're not good enough, you don't deserve success, you will never make it. These lies are born of fear. To silence self-doubt, you must feed your mind with positive affirmations, evidence of your past victories, and unwavering faith in your potential. Strength grows when you replace fear's lies with the truth of your power. Fear isolates you. It convinces you to hide your ambitions, to keep your dreams secret, and to avoid seeking help or advice. It turns you inward, cutting off the support and encouragement that fuel success. But success requires connection. It demands that you surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and believe in you. When fear isolates you, it weakens your spirit and saps your energy. The antidote is courage to be vulnerable, to ask for help, and to build a network that lifts you higher. Fear also distorts reality. It magnifies dangers and minimizes opportunities. It causes you to focus on worst-case scenarios instead of possibilities. This distorted vision keeps you stuck in inaction and regret. To overcome fear, you must learn to see clearly, to weigh risks realistically, and to recognize that most fears are exaggerated or imagined. Reality is not as threatening as fear makes it seem. When you clear the fog of fear, you find a path forward illuminated by opportunity and hope. Fear thrives in uncertainty. The unknown terrifies because it removes control. But control is an illusion. Life is unpredictable, and success depends on your ability to navigate uncertainty with confidence and adaptability. The most successful people are not those who avoid uncertainty, but those who embrace it. They see change and challenge as chances to grow stronger and wiser. Fear falls away when you accept uncertainty as part of life and choose to move forward regardless. Fear prevents you from taking risks. and risk is the currency of success. Without risk, there is no reward. Playing it safe guarantees stagnation. You must be willing to step out boldly, to risk failure, rejection, and discomfort. This willingness separates winners from the rest. Fear says, stay where it's safe, but success demands, step into the unknown. Each risk taken with discipline and courage expands your limits and brings you closer to your goals. Fear controls your emotions and clouds your judgment. When fear dominates, decisions are made out of anxiety instead of clarity. You second-guess yourself, freeze in hesitation, or react impulsively to avoid discomfort. Discipline over fear means mastering your emotions so they serve you rather than control you. It means training your mind to remain calm, focused, and resolute even when fear is present. This emotional control turns fear from a barrier into a challenge to overcome. You can never eliminate fear completely, but you can master it. Mastery comes from repetition, facing your fears again and again until they lose their power. Each time you act despite fear, you build courage and resilience. You prove to yourself that fear is not a limit but a hurdle to clear. Over time, fear becomes a signpost of growth, signaling where you must push harder and rise higher. The more you confront fear, the less it controls you. Fear is the root of failure because it kills dreams before they have a chance to live. It locks potential behind walls of doubt, hesitation, and avoidance. But fear can be conquered by action, discipline, and courage. When you refuse to be ruled by fear, you unlock your true power. You step into a life of possibility, progress, and achievement. Fear loses its grip when you realize that success is born not from comfort, but from bravery, persistence, and unwavering belief in yourself. Let fear be a challenge, not a chain. Let it fuel your determination rather than stall your progress. When you face fear squarely and refuse to back down, you claim victory before you even reach the finish line. The root of failure is fear, but the root of success is courage, and courage begins with choosing to act despite that fear. Indecision is a silent killer. It creeps into your mind like a slow poison, draining your energy, paralyzing your will, and suffocating your dreams. Unlike loud failures that are obvious and can be confronted, indecision works quietly in the background, eroding your confidence and stealing your momentum. It is the thief of opportunity, the destroyer of potential, and the enemy that lurks within. Success demands swift and certain decisions. Anything less is a path to failure. The greatest barrier to success is not a lack of resources, talent, or luck. It is the inability to decide. When you hesitate, you waste precious time and energy wrestling with doubt. Every moment spent wavering is a moment lost forever. Life moves fast, and opportunities wait for no one. The person who delays and doubts will be left behind by those who decide quickly and act boldly. Indecision breeds confusion, anxiety, and fear, and these emotions feed on each other, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. Indecision often masquerades as caution or prudence. People convince themselves they need more information, more time, or the perfect conditions to act. But in reality, indecision is a form of fear. It is the fear of making the wrong choice, fear of failure, and fear of responsibility. This fear shackles you to the spot, leaving your goals to slip through your fingers. Success does not come to those who wait for certainty. It comes to those who move forward with confidence, knowing that no decision is perfect and that mistakes can be corrected. The cost of indecision is far greater than any risk taken in action. Each hesitation weakens your resolve and chips away at your self-trust. When you doubt your ability to decide, you undermine your entire foundation. Confidence is built on the willingness to decide and the readiness to face the consequences. The successful understand that decisions, even imperfect ones, are better than paralysis. They know that action creates clarity and momentum, while indecision breeds stagnation and regret. Indecision also kills opportunities before they can be seized. Some doors only open briefly, and hesitation means they close forever. When you delay, competitors move faster, situations change, and the chance disappears. The world rewards the decisive. History is filled with stories of individuals who succeeded because they acted swiftly and with conviction, not because they had perfect information or conditions. Decisive action puts you ahead of the crowd and creates a dynamic where momentum builds on momentum. The paralysis caused by indecision is often rooted in a fear of responsibility. To decide is to accept ownership of the outcome, whether success or failure. Many avoid decision-making to escape this burden, passing the blame onto circumstances or others. But avoiding responsibility is a trap that destroys growth. Responsibility is power. When you claim your decisions fully, you gain control of your life. Discipline in decision-making means embracing this responsibility and refusing to let fear dictate your choices. Indecision undermines leadership and vision. A leader who cannot decide loses respect and trust. Teams, partners, and supporters look for direction and confidence. Without it, motivation dies and progress halts. To lead yourself or others toward success, you must be decisive. This means gathering necessary information quickly, trusting your judgment, and committing to a course of action. Wavering signals weakness and invites chaos. Strong leaders understand that decisiveness inspires action and creates results. Mental clarity is the antidote to indecision. When your mind is cluttered with distractions, doubts, and conflicting opinions, decision-making becomes impossible. Discipline your mind to focus on what matters, gather the facts you need, and cut through noise and confusion. Practice making small decisions quickly to build your decisiveness muscle. Each choice you make with clarity and confidence weakens indecision's hold and strengthens your ability to lead your life with purpose. Indecision also drains your emotional energy. The constant back and forth, the replaying of what-ifs, and the inability to commit exhaust your mind and spirit. This emotional fatigue reduces your resilience and your capacity to face challenges. By contrast, decisiveness frees you emotionally. When you choose, you release anxiety and open the door to focused action. This freedom fuels motivation and creates a positive cycle of progress. To overcome indecision, you must embrace imperfection. No decision is ever guaranteed to be perfect or without risk. Waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect choice is an illusion. Success comes from the willingness to make decisions, learn from results, adjust course, and keep moving. This mindset transforms indecision from a killer into a stepping stone. It turns hesitation into deliberate action and fear into confidence. Indecision is often fueled by overthinking. Overanalyzing every detail leads to paralysis. The mind spins in endless circles, afraid to commit. Break free by setting deadlines for your decisions. Force yourself to act within a specific time frame. This creates urgency and forces focus. The ability to decide quickly and move forward separates the achievers from the dreamers. Indecision steals your self-respect. Each time you fail to decide, you lose faith in yourself. This erosion of self-trust makes future decisions even harder. But decisiveness builds self-respect and inner strength. When you prove to yourself that you can choose and follow through, you grow more confident. This confidence becomes a powerful tool in overcoming obstacles and chasing bigger goals. Indecision kills progress quietly but thoroughly. It stops momentum dead in its tracks and lets doubt grow wild. If you want to move forward in life, business, or any pursuit, you must develop the habit of decisive action. This means trusting your instincts, accepting uncertainty, and refusing to be paralyzed by fear or doubt. The power to decide is your power to control your destiny. Indecision is a silent killer, but it is not invincible. You can conquer it with discipline, clarity, and courage. Commit now to becoming a person who decides quickly and acts boldly. Your future success depends on your ability to make decisions without hesitation. Every great achievement begins with a decision. Refuse to be the victim of indecision and watch how your life transforms as momentum and confidence replace doubt and delay. The power to choose is the power to win. Procrastination steals your future. It disguises itself as harmless delay, a simple later, but in truth, it is a thief that robs you of time, opportunity, and progress. Every moment you push action aside, you allow your dreams to slip further from reach. Procrastination is the enemy of success because it creates a gap between intention and achievement, filling that space with excuses, distractions, and doubt. The future you desire is built by what you do now, not by what you postpone indefinitely. The danger of procrastination lies in its subtlety. It rarely announces itself as a villain. Instead, it tempts you with comfort, convincing you that there is always more time, that the task can wait, that the pressure will be less tomorrow. But tomorrow is never guaranteed. The more you delay, the harder it becomes to begin, until inertia sets in and your goals become distant fantasies rather than achievable realities. Success demands urgency. It demands that you act decisively in this moment, not in some vague future. Procrastination feeds on fear and doubt. It is easier to delay because starting means facing the possibility of failure, rejection, or discomfort. These fears paralyze you, making delay feel safer than action. But safety is an illusion. Each delay piles more pressure onto your shoulders and shrinks your window of opportunity. The longer you wait, the more overwhelming the task appears, and the less confident you feel. Procrastination is a trap that grows deeper the longer you stay inside it. The cost of procrastination is measured in lost time and missed chances. Time is the most valuable resource, and once spent, it cannot be recovered. The moments you waste deciding when to start could have been used building momentum, learning, and achieving. Opportunities are often fleeting. Once they pass, they rarely return. The person who acts quickly and with purpose seizes opportunities while they are ripe. The person who procrastinates watches from the sidelines as others claim success. Procrastination also destroys your discipline and weakens your willpower. Every time you choose to delay, you weaken your mental muscles. Your ability to resist distractions and stay focused diminishes. This creates a vicious cycle. Procrastination leads to lower discipline, and lower discipline makes procrastination easier. To break free, you must interrupt this cycle by forcing action, no matter how small. Discipline grows from consistent action, and with it comes the power to resist procrastination. Procrastination clouds your mind with guilt and regret. Deep down, you know the cost of delay. This awareness creates stress and anxiety, which only fuel more procrastination. It's a destructive feedback loop that saps your energy and robs you of peace. The mind cannot focus when weighed down by guilt, and productivity plummets. The only way to silence this negative cycle is through action. Taking the first step releases tension and builds confidence. The key to overcoming procrastination is to start before you feel ready. Waiting for motivation or perfect conditions is a lie we tell ourselves to justify delay. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. When you start working, momentum builds and motivation grows stronger. The first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most powerful. It sets the wheels in motion and turns intention into reality. Commit to starting now, and you break procrastination's grip. Breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps makes starting easier. Large goals can feel overwhelming and trigger avoidance. By dividing a goal into clear, simple actions, you reduce fear and create a clear path forward. Small wins build confidence and make progress visible. This approach transforms daunting tasks into achievable challenges and replaces procrastination with productivity. Procrastination is a betrayal of your future self. It favors the short-term comfort of doing nothing over the long-term benefits of hard work. But the future self who will live with the consequences of delay has no say in the moment you choose to procrastinate. Success demands that you act not for the ease of today, but for the promise of tomorrow. The choices you make now echo through your future. Every postponed effort is a lost opportunity to grow, improve, and succeed. Discipline is the antidote to procrastination. It demands that you honor your commitments, push past resistance, and act with consistency. Discipline is built through repetition, showing up day after day even when motivation wanes. The stronger your discipline, the less power procrastination holds over you. Discipline transforms desire into action and action into achievement. Without discipline, procrastination is an open door to failure. Procrastination kills your dreams quietly but thoroughly. It erodes your confidence, weakens your resolve, and steals your time. The pain of regret from lost opportunities is far greater than the discomfort of starting. You must recognize procrastination as a silent enemy and declare war on it with immediate action. Replace delay with urgency and hesitation with commitment. The longer you wait, the more your dreams fade. To conquer procrastination, you must take ownership of your choices. No one else is responsible for your delay. It is a decision made in every moment. Own your power to decide and to act. Build habits that prioritize action and create systems that reduce the chance to procrastinate. Surround yourself with accountability and support. This creates an environment where procrastination cannot thrive. Remember, procrastination steals your future by robbing you of time and momentum. The future you want exists only if you act today. The moment you choose to start is the moment you reclaim control. Take that step now, break free from delay, and march boldly toward your goals. Your destiny is shaped by the actions you take in this moment, not by the delays you accept. The thief called procrastination must be defeated if you want to claim the success waiting for you. Negative influence from others corrupts your mindset. It seeps into your thoughts like a toxic fog, clouding your judgment, sapping your confidence, and poisoning your will to succeed. Your mind is your most valuable asset. It shapes your reality, fuels your actions, and determines your outcomes. Allowing negativity from others to take root within it is to invite failure, self-doubt, and stagnation. Success demands that you guard your mind fiercely and refuse to let destructive voices dictate your path. People around you have enormous power over your mental state. Their words, attitudes, and behaviors can either lift you or drag you down. Negative influence acts like a virus. It spreads through conversations, criticisms, and judgments, infecting your thinking until doubt and fear replace clarity and courage. The moment you accept toxic perspectives as your own, you lose the ability to believe in yourself and your goals. Your mind becomes a battlefield where your dreams are attacked, and unless you fight back, defeat is inevitable. Negative influence breeds limiting beliefs. These are the invisible chains forged by the opinions and attitudes of others. They tell you that you're not good enough, that success is for others but not for you, or that your dreams are unrealistic and destined to fail. Such beliefs shape your self-image and restrict your actions. When your mind accepts these lies, your potential shrinks and your ambition fades. The greatest battles of success are fought within the mind, and negative influence is the enemy that must be defeated to claim victory. Surrounding yourself with negativity causes mental fatigue. Constant exposure to doubt, criticism, and pessimism drains your emotional energy. It creates a mental environment where fear thrives and motivation diminishes. You find yourself second-guessing every decision, hesitating to take risks, and retreating from challenges. This mental exhaustion slows progress and kills initiative. To succeed, you must protect your energy and cultivate a mindset that energizes rather than depletes. Negative influence also distorts your perception of reality. It magnifies obstacles, highlights failures, and minimizes your strengths. When you listen to destructive voices, you start to see your journey through a filter of limitations and obstacles rather than opportunities and solutions. This distorted vision breeds hopelessness and discouragement, which stifle creativity and determination. Success demands clear vision and unwavering belief in your ability to overcome difficulties. One of the most dangerous effects of negative influence is the erosion of self-confidence. Confidence is the foundation of all achievement. It gives you the courage to act, the resilience to persist, and the strength to lead. When others constantly undermine your worth or question your potential, your confidence crumbles. You start to doubt your skills, question your value, and fear rejection. Without confidence, you cannot move forward with conviction, and hesitation becomes your default state. Negative influence fosters a victim mentality. It convinces you that external circumstances or other people control your fate. You begin to blame your failures on others and believe you have no power to change your situation. This mindset is the antithesis of success. True success comes from taking full responsibility for your life, regardless of the negativity around you. You must realize that while you cannot always control what others say or do, you can control how you respond. Your power lies in choosing your mindset. To protect your mind from negative influence, you must be selective about whose voices you allow to shape your thoughts. Choose to surround yourself with positive, supportive, and growth-minded people. Seek those who believe in your potential, challenge you constructively, and inspire you to push beyond limits. Positive influence is like sunlight to the mind. It nourishes confidence, creativity, and courage. The company you keep will either elevate you or drag you down, so choose wisely. Building mental resilience is crucial to resist negative influence. This means strengthening your ability to recognize and reject destructive thoughts and beliefs. It requires discipline to replace negativity with empowering affirmations and to focus on your goals despite criticism or doubt. Mental resilience turns your mind into a fortress where negative influence cannot penetrate. It empowers you to stay focused, maintain confidence, and act decisively even when surrounded by skepticism. Awareness is the first step to combating negative influence. You must recognize when your mindset is being corrupted by others. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions. Do you feel drained, doubtful, or discouraged? If so, identify the source and take action to distance yourself or limit exposure. Awareness allows you to break the cycle of negativity and regain control of your thoughts and emotions. Your mind is a garden, and negative influence plants weeds that choke out the flowers of success. You must cultivate your mental garden with intention. Plant seeds of positivity, gratitude, and determination. Regularly feed your mind with inspiring books, empowering conversations, and constructive feedback. Weed out toxic thoughts and toxic relationships that threaten your growth. Success requires constant mental care and vigilance. Ultimately, you alone are responsible for the condition of your mind. No matter how loud or persistent negative influences may be, you hold the power to choose your thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. This power is your greatest weapon against failure. Guard your mind fiercely. Refuse to let negativity corrupt your vision. Strengthen your mental defenses daily. When you control your mindset, no external influence can derail you from your path to success. Negative influence from others corrupts your mindset because it attacks the very foundation of your power, the way you think and believe. Protect your mind like a precious asset, because it is the source of all your actions and achievements. The moment you allow negativity to take hold is the moment you lose the fight before it even begins. Choose to rise above. Choose to empower yourself. Choose to build a mindset so strong, so focused, and so positive that no outside force can shake it. Your success depends on the mind you nurture today. Lack of persistence guarantees defeat. It is the silent surrender that occurs long before the final battle is fought. Success is not won by the swift or the strongest alone, but by those who refuse to quit when faced with obstacles, setbacks, and failures. Without relentless persistence, every dream, every goal, every ambition crumbles under the weight of difficulty. The moment you stop pushing forward, you seal your own failure. Persistence is the bridge between desire and achievement. Remove it, and collapse is inevitable. The world rewards those who keep going when others give up. Persistence is not about avoiding failure. It is about embracing failure as part of the process and refusing to be defeated by it. Every setback is a test of your willpower, a challenge to rise higher and push harder. Those who succeed see failure as temporary, a lesson that sharpens their approach and strengthens their resolve. Those who lack persistence see failure as final and retreat into defeat. Success demands a mind that refuses to quit no matter how fierce the storm. Lack of persistence is often born from impatience and a desire for immediate results. Many give up too soon because success rarely comes quickly or easily. The difference between winners and losers is the willingness to endure the grind, to persist through discomfort, uncertainty, and frustration. Instant gratification is the enemy of persistence. The road to achievement is long and filled with challenges that test your endurance. Only the persistent stay the course long enough to reap the rewards. Persistence fuels momentum. Every small effort adds up, creating forward motion that becomes unstoppable over time. When you persist, you build habits of discipline and resilience that make progress inevitable. Without persistence, momentum stalls and the energy to continue fades. The choice to persist or quit determines whether you move forward or fall behind. Momentum created by persistence grows into confidence and competence, two pillars of lasting success. Giving up guarantees defeat because it ends the opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Persistence keeps you in the game, allowing you to gather experience, refine your strategies, and develop new skills. Without persistence, you abandon this process prematurely. The greatest achievers often fail more times than others try because they persist where others quit. Their success is the product of relentless effort, not mere talent or luck. Persistence turns potential into reality. Lack of persistence is a surrender to fear of failure, discomfort, or the unknown. It convinces you that the obstacles are too great, the path too difficult, and the goal unattainable. but persistence is courage in action. It is the choice to face fear head-on and move forward anyway. Courage and persistence go hand in hand. One cannot exist without the other. To succeed, you must cultivate the mental toughness to persist despite fear and doubt. Persistence also builds character. It shapes you into a person who can withstand adversity and keep moving forward. Each challenge overcome through persistence strengthens your resolve and builds unshakable confidence. Without persistence, you remain fragile in the face of difficulty and vulnerable to giving up. The process of persisting through hardship transforms you into a leader, a problem solver, and a visionary capable of turning dreams into reality. Lack of persistence is often disguised as realism or knowing when to quit. But quitting because the journey is hard is not wisdom. It is defeat masquerading as prudence. Realism requires recognizing when to change tactics, not when to abandon your goals. Persistence means adapting and innovating while never giving up on the end vision. Knowing the difference between quitting and pivoting is essential. True persistence is flexible but never gives up on the mission. Persistence demands daily commitment. It is not a one-time decision but a continuous choice to keep going, even when motivation fades and obstacles grow. This daily commitment builds the discipline necessary to overcome challenges and stay focused on long-term success. Without this consistent effort, setbacks become insurmountable and goals remain distant dreams. Persistence is a habit, and habits are built through repetition and determination. Surrounding yourself with persistence also matters. Being around people who quit easily or lack motivation can sap your own persistence. Seek out those who embody perseverance and determination. Their energy and mindset will fuel your own persistence. Remember that persistence is contagious, both positively and negatively. Protect your mindset by cultivating a circle that supports relentless effort and resilience. Persistence fuels innovation and creativity. When you refuse to quit, you force yourself to find new solutions, learn from mistakes, and innovate. Those who give up early miss the opportunity to discover breakthrough ideas and strategies. Persistence keeps you in the game long enough to uncover hidden paths to success that are invisible to those who quit. It turns obstacles into stepping stones and failure into feedback. Lack of persistence guarantees defeat because it cuts off the possibility of success prematurely. The line between victory and failure is often drawn by those last moments when quitting feels easiest. The winners are those who push through exhaustion, doubt, and frustration to claim the prize. The difference between a dream realized and a dream abandoned is persistence. Without it, potential remains just potential, unfulfilled and wasted. Success is not an accident, but the result of consistent, persistent effort. It requires waking up each day ready to fight for your vision, regardless of circumstances. Persistence transforms ordinary people into legends. It turns setbacks into comebacks and challenges into triumphs. When you embrace persistence, you declare that failure is not an option and that defeat is a temporary state on the road to ultimate victory. Persistence is the unwavering refusal to quit despite every reason to give up. It is the daily demonstration of courage, discipline, and faith in your purpose. Without persistence, no amount of talent, education, or opportunity will lead you to success. The greatest achievements are reserved for those who endure, who rise after every fall, and who keep moving forward until the final victory is theirs. Persistence guarantees success. Lack of it guarantees defeat. Failure to take responsibility kills growth. It is the cornerstone of stagnation and the silent assassin of progress. Growth demands ownership. Ownership of your choices, your actions, and your outcomes. Without this fundamental principle, you remain a passive victim of circumstance, drifting through life with no control over your destiny. Success begins with the willingness to stand tall, acknowledge your role in every situation, and accept full responsibility for where you are and where you want to go. Taking responsibility means refusing to blame others, the environment, or bad luck for your failures and setbacks. It means looking honestly at yourself, your decisions, and your behaviors with unwavering clarity. Growth cannot occur in a mindset clouded by excuses or denial. When you fail to accept responsibility, you hand over your power to external forces and give up the ability to change your life. Progress requires you to reclaim that power and become the master of your fate. Failure to take responsibility creates a mental prison of victimhood. It traps you in the belief that you are helpless and that your future is determined by forces beyond your control. This victim mentality is the enemy of growth because it robs you of motivation, initiative, and the drive to improve. When you see yourself as a victim, you wait for rescue or change from outside sources rather than forging your own path. True growth arises only when you break free from this mindset and choose accountability. Responsibility is not about self-blame or guilt. It is about empowerment. It is the foundation on which confidence and competence are built. When you accept responsibility, you acknowledge that you have the ability to influence outcomes and create change. This realization fuels action, creativity, and resilience. Without responsibility, you become reactive and passive. With it, you become proactive and unstoppable. Growth requires this shift from passivity to ownership. Failure to take responsibility blocks learning and self-improvement. Growth demands honest reflection on mistakes and failures. When you avoid responsibility, you avoid facing uncomfortable truths about what needs to change. Without this honest self-assessment, you remain stuck repeating the same errors, unable to develop new skills or strategies. Responsibility opens the door to self-awareness and continuous improvement. It forces you to ask hard questions and seek better answers. Taking responsibility builds trust and respect from others. People are drawn to those who own their actions and stand accountable for their results. This quality creates strong relationships, opens doors to new opportunities, and positions you as a leader. Conversely, shirking responsibility breeds distrust, damages reputations, and isolates you from support. Growth requires social capital, and responsibility is a key currency in building it. Responsibility is the fuel for resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges, failures, and setbacks your way. Those who grow and succeed are not those who avoid hardship, but those who accept responsibility for how they respond. They choose to learn, adapt, and persevere rather than surrender. Failure to take responsibility leads to despair and resignation because it places control outside your hands. Growth demands that you reclaim control through accountability. A refusal to take responsibility often stems from fear, the fear of failure, judgment, or discomfort. This fear causes avoidance and defensiveness, which block growth. Growth requires courage to face your shortcomings and mistakes honestly. It demands the strength to admit when you are wrong and the humility to seek help or change direction. Without this courage, fear keeps you trapped in stagnation and mediocrity. Responsibility also sharpens decision-making. When you own the consequences of your choices, you become more thoughtful and deliberate. You weigh options carefully and consider long-term impacts because you know you are accountable. This mindset leads to wiser, more effective actions. Without responsibility, decisions are careless or avoided altogether, resulting in wasted time and energy. Growth flourishes in the soil of accountable choices. Taking responsibility fuels motivation. When you realize that your success depends on your efforts, you become driven to act. This internal motivation is far more powerful and sustainable than relying on external circumstances or luck. Motivation anchored in responsibility propels you forward through obstacles and setbacks. Without it, you drift aimlessly, waiting for change that never comes. Growth thrives on the energy of self-driven action. Failure to take responsibility poisons relationships and undermines teamwork. In any group or organization, progress depends on individuals owning their roles and commitments. When people avoid responsibility, blame games start, trust breaks down, and collaboration suffers. Growth requires collective accountability, where each person contributes fully and supports others. Without responsibility, the entire system falters and fails to advance. Responsibility is the key to unlocking your potential. You cannot become who you are meant to be without it. It demands that you look inward and face the truth about your strengths and weaknesses. This brutal honesty is the first step toward transformation. When you accept responsibility, you open the door to personal power, confidence, and the ability to shape your future. Growth is not possible without this fundamental step. Growth requires a mindset shift from blaming the outside world to mastering your inner world. Failure to take responsibility keeps you focused on what you cannot control instead of what you can. Success is reserved for those who take ownership of their lives and refuse to let excuses limit them. They accept that setbacks are part of the journey and use responsibility as a compass to navigate challenges. This mindset creates unstoppable momentum toward greatness. Ultimately, failure to take responsibility kills growth because it surrenders your power to change. It is the ultimate act of giving up on yourself. Growth demands that you rise above excuses, denial, and blame to claim full ownership of your life. When you do this, you transform obstacles into opportunities and failures into stepping stones. Responsibility is not a burden. It is your greatest tool for achieving success and becoming the person you aspire to be. Your future depends on your willingness to take responsibility today. Every success story is built on this foundation of accountability. It is the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who watch from the sidelines. Refuse to let failure to take responsibility destroy your potential. Stand up, own your choices, and grow into the power you were born to wield. Growth and greatness await those bold enough to take full control of their lives. Comfort zones are death traps. They appear safe and inviting, but beneath the surface lies a slow, silent erosion of ambition, growth, and potential. Staying within your comfort zone is the surest way to guarantee mediocrity, stagnation, and eventual failure. The mind and spirit need challenge, discomfort, and risk to expand. Without pushing beyond familiar limits, you become trapped in a cycle of complacency where dreams fade, progress halts, and opportunities slip away unnoticed. The comfort zone is a prison disguised as refuge. It keeps you anchored to what is easy and familiar, shutting down the drive to explore, innovate, and improve. Growth cannot happen in safety. It happens in struggle and discomfort. When you cling to comfort, you resist change and avoid the very experiences that build strength, resilience, and wisdom. Success demands stepping into the unknown, taking risks, and facing challenges head-on. The comfort zone lulls you into forgetting this truth, quietly killing your chances to rise. Complacency grows within the comfort zone. When you stop challenging yourself, your skills atrophy, your mindset narrows, and your ambition shrinks. The initial comfort feels like relief, but becomes a slow poison that dulls your edge. You begin to accept less, settle for mediocrity, and stop striving for excellence. This mindset is a fatal flaw because the world outside your comfort zone is moving fast, evolving, and demanding more. If you don't grow, you fall behind. Comfort zones breed irrelevance. Comfort zones also stunt creativity and innovation. New ideas and breakthroughs come from experimentation, risk-taking, and confronting uncertainty. Within a comfort zone, fear of failure and criticism keeps your thinking narrow and cautious. You play it safe, recycle old ideas, and avoid the discomfort of learning something new. Innovation requires discomfort because it demands you to step beyond what you know into uncharted territory. Without this willingness, you stagnate while others advance. Fear disguises itself as comfort. The comfort zone promises security, but is often a mask for fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and fear of change. These fears convince you to stay put rather than risk discomfort or rejection. But what you fear most is exactly what you must face to grow. Fear shrinks your world and limits your potential. The courage to break free from comfort is the gateway to greatness. Without courage, you remain trapped in a cycle of missed opportunities and regret. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the harder it becomes to leave. The mind adapts to familiarity and begins to resist change, creating an invisible chain that holds you back. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you strengthen this chain and weaken your will to push forward. Success requires breaking these chains daily by embracing discomfort, uncertainty, and hard work. Each small step outside your comfort zone builds mental toughness and expands your capacity for achievement. Comfort zones destroy momentum. Progress requires consistent action that stretches your limits and pushes boundaries. Staying comfortable means avoiding the effort and risk needed for growth, resulting in stagnation. Momentum slows, enthusiasm fades, and progress stalls. The energy to keep moving forward comes from facing challenges and conquering them. Without stepping out of comfort, your drive fades, and with it, the fire that fuels your success. Comfort zones also limit your vision. When you remain in familiar territory, you fail to see the bigger picture and the greater possibilities beyond. Your goals shrink to fit the boundaries of comfort, rather than expanding to match your true potential. This narrow focus blinds you to opportunities that require risk and adaptation. Growth demands an expansive mindset that dares to imagine and pursue what lies beyond the safety of comfort. Breaking free from comfort requires intentional discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable by nature. It demands sacrifice, hard decisions, and persistent effort. You must choose to face discomfort regularly, whether through new challenges, learning unfamiliar skills, or confronting difficult truths. This intentional discomfort rewires your mind, builds resilience, and prepares you for higher levels of success. Without embracing discomfort, you remain trapped in a cycle of safe but unremarkable existence. The comfort zone creates false security. It tricks you into believing that what you have now is enough and that risk is unnecessary. This illusion of security breeds complacency, making it harder to take the bold actions necessary to achieve extraordinary results. Real security comes from strength, adaptability, and continuous growth, none of which thrive inside comfort. To build true security, you must constantly push yourself beyond safe limits. Comfort zones breed regret. The stories of those who stayed comfortable often end with missed chances, what-ifs, and dreams unfulfilled. Time passes while you remain stuck, watching others who dared to leave their comfort zone claim success and fulfillment. Regret is the price of choosing comfort over growth. The pain of missed opportunities far outweighs the temporary discomfort of change and challenge. Your greatest potential lies outside your comfort zone. Every breakthrough, every milestone, every success story begins with the decision to step beyond familiar borders. This step is not easy. It requires courage, determination, and faith in your own ability to handle uncertainty, but it is necessary. Comfort zones are death traps because they kill potential before it can be realized. Escape them and open the door to a life of growth, power, and achievement. Comfort zones are death traps because they kill ambition, creativity, resilience, momentum, and vision. They replace growth with stagnation, courage with fear, and potential with regret. To succeed, you must refuse to settle for comfort and instead embrace discomfort as the path to greatness. Growth demands discomfort, and only those willing to pay that price achieve the extraordinary. Break free today and watch your life transform. The comfort zone may feel like safety, but it is nothing more than a silent assassin of your potential. True growth, true success, and true fulfillment lie beyond the familiar boundaries that hold you back. Every step you take outside your comfort zone strengthens your courage, sharpens your skills, and expands your vision. The choice is yours: remain trapped in the death trap of comfort, or embrace the discomfort that leads to greatness. Remember, nothing extraordinary ever comes from playing it safe. Break free, push beyond, and claim the life you were meant to live.